Metro, and I'm joined here by my dearest friend, Summon the Nerds. Summon, how are you? Are you excited for these games?
I'm good. I am looking forward to these games. Both these teams were invited by our organisation and our league to come participate for us today, I believe. In fact, I can check that for you. Yes, both these teams were both invited. So it should be a good league. Hopefully they're going to both show us just what they're made of. And I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a good watch.
I agree. I think it's going to be a great old big game here. Well, I say that, but again, I have very limited information about the teams that were invited by the organization, so I don't really know what to expect here. I'm here just for a good time. Hopefully, we get a nice long game. We all love nice long games, nice long things, maybe. But yeah. So, do you have any information to share with me about these teams? Where they come from? What are their previous accomplishments? How do you think they're going to fare up against each other?
I do, yes. Let me get that up for you now. I think Outnumbered, a team that were under Arctic for a little while. They've since either expanded out, or I think there's definitely players that match it. But these teams are definitely they're both new, so we haven't seen anything from them yet. It's going to be an exciting game, nonetheless. But the bans coming out now are also very stereotypical. In fact, now I've got the details about Outnumbered. Let's have a look at them. So looking at the past of Outnumbered esports, we can see they currently have participated in only Relentless League so far, so they're a fairly new team. They beat Eagles Esports 2-1 and Outnumbered. Oh no, they beat K9 Esports 2-0, which is, and they came first at the top of their group in Group C, which was part of the group stage.
Attackers need to locate.
Okay. Interesting. But without any further ado, as you said, the bans are pretty standard on this map. You know, the Dokkaebi, we've spoken about her many times before. You know, she's got the really good loadout. She can make roaming quite a trouble. She's very good at clearing up the roamers and of course those calls, as well as hacking those cameras and having that information on the defenders is definitely less than ideal. So it's just, you know, out of sight, out of mind. Mira can lock a lot of lines of sight, and she can lock down a lot of positions to the point where attackers have a really hard time attacking into it. And then Flores is the biggest and best counter, I believe, to the Azami that we do see SODALITY bringing. So it's interesting that Outnumbered decided to ban him. Typically, you'll see them being sort of a tandem ban, especially with how much they've both been banned, both Azami and Flores. So usually you'll see, you know, if one goes out, the other one will go out too. But SODALITY decided to not then ban out Azami. Once Flores was banned, they just decided to stick it out with it.
I have got some statistics on those if you're willing to have a listen. Looking at the open qualifier, we can actually see that Flores was one of the most banned operators with a 34.1% ban rate on attack. I believe that was also followed by Doki, who had a 14.6% ban rate. On Chalet, the site we're currently looking at now as well, it's a very defender-sided map looking at the open qualifiers with a 52.3% win rate for the defensive sides. Mira is also an incredibly highly banned operator, 53.7% ban ratio. Valkyrie at 36.6%. And it is interesting that we didn't see the Azami, as she is the second highest with 46.3%.
Wow. There's a lot of information there that I didn't expect. And unfortunately, your curse continues to live on even in the close qualifiers. As soon as you started talking, Nati season went down to a vertical angle from inside of bathroom. And NNJ took some damage somewhere. I'm not really sure when or how that happened. There goes another kill as Pans takes out the Iana. There goes a trade finally coming up from Outnumbered. It's Benny with one. Unfortunately, SODALITY are just picking up the pieces of the remaining attackers, and now it's all down to Watchdog to try and do something. Can he do something with only 1 HP and not enough time? Unfortunately, no, he cannot. It's Sleepy to pick him up. and to finish off the round in favor of SODALITY.
Yeah, looking at SODALITY's actual wrap so far, I mean, we can see that they've also were established during the beginnings of Relentless, which is recent league, so that we can see that they are a recent team. They beat Divinity Esports with 2-0, a 1-2 when it came against the Budapest 5. However, they lost to the Epic Podcast 1-2. Moving on from there, we actually see them go into the Vivid Season 6 qualifiers, where they beat Project FR 7-0. They went on to their next match, where they were beaten by Owned Esports with a 7-2, and Zero Pain beat them again with a 7-4. Finally, they were beaten one more time by Victim in the Vivid Season 6 qualifiers, 7-3, until they came back with a bang and beat T3B Gladiators with a 7-5.
Wow. That's Gladiators. Oh no, that's Gladiators. For a moment, I don't know why I misunderstood you saying Gladiators to say Guardians. I was like, the team that we just watched absolutely annihilate. Well, they didn't absolutely annihilate. It was a very, very close game, but still, I was like, wow, that's some feat. But no, it was Guardians, which is still a pretty or not. Oh my lord, Gladiators, which is still a feat in and of itself. But
yeah, I mean, looking at Gladiators, where they came in the open qualifier, I mean, initially they had actually placed 17th in our open qualifiers, which was not a qualifying spot, but due to the dropout of S2, the Gladiators were actually nominated to take their position, and so we will be seeing some Gladiators this season to see if we can take it back, and my curse strikes yet again.
Yeah, indeed it does, as Pants takes out NNJ the Buck from a very, very nice angle, and that is now going to be quite some damage done now onto the attacking team of Outnumbered, as they've lost their only vertical player. They don't have any breach charges on either the Ace or the Ash. They've only got Claymores galore. So far, none of them have been placed. And they've lost their only vertical player. They could do something with the nades from the Iana, but of course that's not really what you want to be using the grenades to begin with. That's something you want to be using to clear out some of that utility, specifically those shields, as well as those Kiba barriers. So that might be a bit of a misplay there, now losing their Buck so early on and having to use other utility to try and clear other utility.
Definitely.
As well as time running down.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking on the sides of the staff predictions, we can actually see that Outnumbered have the staff's favour with a 63% majority compared to SODALITY's 38%. I strike again.
The curse strikes again. As to SODALITY pick up a few more kills, there goes a trade finally from Outnumbered, but these footholds, we've seen them in action many, many times before, and they've been an absolute menace to deal with for attackers. They cannot really go up against it. Finally, they pick up a trade through them on a counter angle, but look at that time dwindling down, and now Watchdog, the Lion, and the Iana both on very low HP, 30 seconds to go. It is a 2v2 technically, seeing as the Azami is down but not out, but I don't know if they're going to be able to secure that, or if SODALITY are going to be able to pick them up. It doesn't look like they're going to even attempt to, as they've both retreated to site. They're just holding on to these angles, forcing them to push in, and that's exactly what they're going to have to do, but with limited information, they don't really know where anyone is. Watchdog does pick up one. It's a 1v2 effectively. Easy aware of that, taking a little bit of damage in that smoke. There goes the finisher, but unfortunately there's not enough time for Watchdog to do anything. And the round is over. Team SODALITY take a significant lead now with 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0 is a good lead to have. I mean, especially going into it so far, that's a good momentum you've picked up there, and that's some good confidence you're going to give in your players. I certainly think that's important, and I think that's something that we're going to be seeing throughout. Yes, so SODALITY currently have it. That's putting the staff and casters' predictions to shame, unfortunately. But Chalet is one of our most played maps throughout the seasons of Revival League. In the first season by itself, we actually saw it 31 times with a 53.8% win rate on defense.
Yeah, I'm well aware of how ever-present it has been.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we only saw it 9 times in the open qualifier, but that still makes up, I think, about half, or a quarter even, of the map that was played. And it was won 52.3% amount of times on defense, rivaled only really with Oregon, which had a 61.3% win rate on defense and was played 14 times.
Wow, that is. I'm so glad to have you here, by the way, for these statistics, because so much of the time I will have these statistics in my head, sort of just from like, okay, I've watched them. I remember how they turned out, so like I can make up a percentage in my head that is like roughly what it would be. And then whenever I say it's like, oh yeah, Chalet tends to be a pretty defender-sided map, I feel like I'm going crazy because Chalet, in other, sort of areas of competitive, is actually quite attacker-sided, in the higher tiers. But even in other leagues of T3 or T4, where Revival League is, it does tend to be quite attacker-sided. So whenever I'm thinking and saying, "Oh, it's defender-sided," I feel like I'm going crazy. It's like, is it? Is it really? And it turns out it is. And now I finally have the numbers to back it up, and I'm not actually insane. So
no,
thank
you're
you for
not
that.
insane. But I think we've definitely got a very defensive roster this season. I mean, looking at the teams that we're currently looking at, the win rate on attack is almost null. Looking at the last season, the top 3 played maps was over 50% win rates on defense each time, with a 53 on Chalet, 56 on Club, and 57 on Oregon. And looking at this season's open qualifiers, it was keeping that similar theme with a 61%, a 52%, and a 56% on Clubhouse.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I will say though that we have to sort of put like a little asterisk there on those statistics, is the fact that for last season, for the most part, we are thinking about the Champions League and the Premier League, whereas this season, at least so far, with the close qualifiers, with the open and close qualifiers, it will be mostly the Alpha League and the Premier League. And now I'm the one with the curses. Nate season does take out Sleepy. That's the castle off the board, but they've only got a minute left and so much work still left to do.
Absolutely. I mean, no wonder we don't really see a variation in maps. I mean, looking at the banned maps, we saw Bank, Cafe, and Theme all banned 43 times overall throughout the Season 2 qualifiers. That is almost every match that they were getting banned. There goes my curse, and I'll pass it back over to you.
Yes, and then Jay pushing up the West Main Stairs, picks up 1, picks up 2. It's Rev to pick up a couple more. It's all down to Dookie now inside of sight. 30 seconds to try and hold off these attackers. It's not enough even with the Alda in hand. And Outnumbered finally put the first round on the board for themselves.
Yeah, for a team we saw placing first place in the group stages of Relentless, it's curious to see that they actually took them 3 rounds to get their first name on the board. But they're here now. Maybe they're just getting into the groove of things. A variation of things that could occur, but happy to see them. Let's hope that we can still see some prevalent things from them. I hope it gets exciting.
I 100% agree. I really hope that it gets exciting. But speaking of exciting, I want to get a little bit more excited about so far what we are seeing, because we've seen SODALITY go try out their entire site rotation. They've gone upstairs, won it in quite a confident fashion. They went downstairs into games, won it again, quite a confident fashion. Although it did go down to a 1v2, I'll give Outnumbered that. They did bring the second round into a 1v1. But then they went into Kitchen, and it was almost a landslide from Outnumbered. So that is really, really interesting. I wonder how Sodality are going to try and counter that. Is it going to be the case of, they go on a 4-2 split at the half because Outnumbered are just that good at attacking Kitchen? Are they just not going to go to Kitchen at all? Or will they start to crumble and lose some of their primary and their secondary side? I'm very interested in seeing how that actually fares up now that we've seen a few rounds.
Ideally, we'd like to see Team Solidity actually change how they are. I mean, they've seen how Outnumbered attack the Kitchen. I'd like to see them alter their own play style to try and counter that. I mean, we've seen people like the Lion, they're bringing every single time. They're bringing all these operators are very common operators with them. You'd think we'd be seeing people like a Solist or some counters come in with that. Going in with this now, they now know how they're going to attack, and they can keep it fresh on the side of Solidity by just changing slight things, different operators, different ways to hold it. That will stop Outnumbered from being able to just play into their advantage of, we know how you played this last time. I think we will see Kitchen, but I think we'll see a drastically different setup this time to try and counter the way that they played.
And there we go. The first kill comes up from Watchdog onto the Azami. A few more. They followed up with a couple trades as well from Team Sodality, so they nullify the advantage that Outnumbered gained very, very quickly. And now there goes the Frost as well. Shot down from the vertical angle. Not really so much a vertical angle, but it is a window rappel angle. I forgot that this angle existed. I haven't used this angle in a long time. But Dookie just trying to find something maybe out there on the front side. Cannot find anything. And now Outnumbered have slowed it down a little bit. They're just taking their time to drone everything out, to find out as much information as they can onto Team Sodality. They don't really have to rush it. They still have quite enough time. And they have the man advantage, as well as very little utility for them to actually have to try and clear, considering the lineup that the Sodality have brought and how much of that utility has already been cleared. And there goes not Nate Season to pick up a kill onto Sleepy, and it's all down to Dookie now. Against 3 of them, they're creeping up onto the breach. It kind of looks like they're lagging a little bit through those outlines, but no, he's gonna have to try and rotate, make himself a rotation into bedroom from the bathroom to try and counter something. The ace crosses over. He could have gotten the kill there, but he wasn't aware. He was just a little bit too late. There goes a C4. C4 will miss, but it will stop Benny planting for a moment. He knows there's one on the piano window, gets that player.
Attackers activating the
Plant has gone down. 1 versus 2 for the Cade. Can he do this? He sees the planter, gets him, but there's a Claymore, and there's the cross angle as well from Nate Season to get that kill and to pick up another round for Outnumbered. This is Sodality's primary site pick, and they lost it. Not looking good if this is the way that Outnumbered have decided to completely counter everything that Sodality are putting down.
Yeah, I think Outnumbered have certainly gotten into their swing now. They certainly seem to powering up a little bit. I think they've worked out Team Solidarity's actual strategies now. I think they can see what Solidarity's doing and how they're playing, and I think they're countering it almost perfectly. I mean, we saw the first instance of it on the kitchen site, and if they continue with this stretch and Solidarity doesn't change, I think we could see almost shutout, a blowout here.
Located a bomb.
It could be. It very well could be, but this also could be one of the times when, not necessarily when it's attacker-sided, but when attackers might have a little bit easier of a time. We've seen it before where we're like, oh, it's a super defender-sided map, or it's a super attacker-sided map, on any map, really, and then just that match, it sort of, flips a little. So
Yeah,
it could very well go long and be one of those games. But these footholds, I mean, these footholds were the reason that Sodality won this round before, is that they were able to get so many kills through those footholds from the fireplace stairs, and I wonder if they're gonna have the same effect again here. I mean, those footholds are really, really annoying to try and deal with. Oh, and there goes a spawn peek from Sleepy onto the Iana. That is a hugely important kill. It wasn't a spawn peek, it doesn't seem it, but I don't really know where it was, though.
Looks like it was out from Trophy. I believe he was trying to make a quick push, and he sort of picked him up. quickly there, I think.
That is, yeah. I think you're right. Well, that was a very, very early pick, and that is, I mean, that is the most operators so far in this sort of beginning of the round, or even the mid-round, because that is the player that you're going to have to use to clear out those shields. And there goes a vault in from the Habana, who was not expecting Sleepy to push into that, and there goes another kill, and now you don't have your hard breach or your projectile utility. You still have the Ash, but the nades are so much better because you can actually lob them over places, and you have so much precision with them. This is really not looking good for OUTNUMBRD here, and we've only just started the round.
Yeah, really close there. I mean, Dog just mitched the head of Sleepy, who is going on an absolute rampage this round. I mean, they've really changed their playstyle. You can see a lot more aggressive here. A bigger, deeper roam from Sleepy on the Jaeger, who's got that 4.33 carbine, I think it is. That's a very strong gun. It's an assault rifle on defense. I mean, nonetheless, it's going to be very important. My cursor struck twice as we see 2 players go down.
2 players have gone down. There goes another. Watchdog basically single-handedly picking up the pieces and trying to salvage this round. Pants shuts down NNJ, and now it's all down to Watchdog. He does have that 417 DMR, which is a very, very hard-hitting weapon, so he is able to pick up a kill onto Pants, but he still has 2 players to contest with on low HP, and against those smoked babes, there's nothing he can do. It's the smoke to finish him off. And it's another round on the board for Team SODALITY. I think that this round can be a little bit credited to Sleepy, who got those 2 very early, very important kills. Losing the Iana and the Habana that early on, it puts you at so much of a back foot on attack that I would have been genuinely surprised if OUTNUMBRD were able to pull it back and actually win it.
Yeah, I mean, that's 2 key operators there. That's a lot of utility that you've just lost. That's hard walls and hatches being open that you've got gone down the drain. That's droning and information from the Iana, as well as 2 nades, which can be incredibly important for vertical plays. And not to mention the guns the Iana's packing. I mean, either way, that's an incredible gun. And a good pick there from Sleepy. I think Sleepy did his job absolutely just incredibly. He got those 2 early picks and he held them off, pushed them back, and didn't give them enough time to sort of get up there, take control, and set up the site how they would have wanted it, which then left SODALITY with, we know where they are, we know what they're going to try and do. When they're going to try and do it, we can just swing around, pick up our kills, and move on to the next round. I mean, we've seen 2-2, and then another 2 rounds. Maybe we're going to see another 2 rounds here, and we're going to see rounds of burst of 2, which would be fortunate for Team SODALITY as they got off on the front foot, and we would see a win. Looking at the current scoreline and how people are playing, I can't give an accurate guess on where we're going to end up. 2 very strong teams duking it out, and I think it's just going to be, I think it's probably going to be a long match, but for the best, it's going to be an exciting one.
I think you're definitely right about that. And here we go. We're already having our first engagement. Fans, and I was going to say in a pretty bad position there as he could get shot down from the window, but instead that was almost sort of a bait. It's like, oh, he's going to think that I'm not looking, and then I'll just spin around and take out the sledge. And once again, OUTNUMBRD lose their vertical player. Before, in a round, it was losing the buck very early on. Now it's the sledge. And again, Chile, one of the most vertical maps that we have, you know, in competitive. It's a very, very crucial player. Your sledge or your buck or anybody with breach charges. So to lose that player that early on, I mean, it's gonna hurt. It's definitely gonna hurt. Benny will be able to open up this wall into office to try and put a little pressure onto the players playing upstairs. But again, without having that vertical player or that vertical operator, the vertical pressure that they, or rather clearing out the players upstairs, isn't really going to do much because they won't be able to utilize having that vertical advantage, just because they're not going to be able to create any angles. They're not going to be able to cover any areas for their teammates. Well, the planet is just not really going to be looking good. And NNJ taking a little bit of damage here. Not really sure where from. There goes a C4 from below to take him out. Or it might not have been a C4. I think that was... No, it was a C4. It was a C4 from
C4.
Vigoyo. Yeah, it was a C4 from the Goyo. He's down, but not out. And there goes, he's out now. He was irretrievable no matter what they did there, unless they killed all of the players downstairs, which, of course, is a completely different ballgame at that point. So now 3 versus 5 with 40 seconds left to go, and they still haven't cleared out the top floor. This is going to be the toughest job for Outnumbered to try and do. They lose one, but they get the trade. HPV is trying to
Located by attackers.
find something here. He might get shot on here from the player playing inside of Piano. He does manage to retreat, but there goes the Wamai taking out one. He might get lucky here with 2. It's all down to the Iana diffuser. Cold in on the ground. 15 seconds left to go. 1 versus 4. Can he do this? He's being stared down by the Wamai. Oh, there's a castle barricade. That's why he wasn't shot down before, but he's got him covered, and he will get the kill. Defenders win round 6. Sodality managed to put themselves ahead by a round after losing that kitchen bomb site, and then losing the games bomb site the second time around. They did manage to win it now, the second time around, the kitchen bomb site. Put themselves in a lead as we see the side switch.
Yeah, I mean, losing that sledge, as you said, was so important to them. Chalet is a very malleable map. You can completely change it to how you want to play it and how you want the other team to forced into playing it. And Sledge breaks that down. He's able to break down walls, open up floors, throw in nades with a very powerful gun with a 1.5 and very little recoil. It's a big loss there that I think ultimately did lead to the demise of Outnumbered's attack. SODALITY really holding up quite well. I mean, they're completely rebutting. They've come back for 2. I think they've learned their mistakes. I think they know how to play. I think we're going to see a couple of rounds from Outnumbered here as SODALITY adapts to the defense of Outnumbered. But after that, I think maybe we'll see SODALITY just take the lead and run with it. But in the same token, we could see Outnumbered completely come out here on the fence, completely shine, and we could see a 7-2 lockout, 7-4 lockout even. But I think the likelihood is, looking at what we got now, looking at the adaptations that SODALITY are making, I think it's safe to say that they have currently got the lead, and the ball is currently on their court.
The ball is currently in their court, but that tactical timeout was a really, really great way of putting the brakes on and forcing SODALITY to sort of, cool back down, to just switch gears and be like, okay, we're not gonna let you just run with the pace that you've set here. We're not gonna let you run with the momentum that you've created. We're just gonna force you to play at our pace, because now it's our half, and we're gonna force you to come to us. And that's sort of exactly what they're doing. And they are bringing quite a lot of operators here to try and force the pace to be a bit slower than maybe SODALITY would like for it to be, as they're bringing that Melusi, of course, that slows people down. It's a very loud sound cue as well. The Aruni denying quite a lot of utility, as well as also denying sort of entry, and then the Frost. Frost strength isn't necessarily in somebody jumping in the window and then being downed halfway across the map and then not being able to do anything for a little while. That's not necessarily where her biggest strength is. She could be just as strong just by existing on the lineup without having even placed down a single Frost map, because when it gets to that mid to late round where you're low on drones, you don't really know what's happening, you're just looking down. You're looking down to try and shoot it, and that means that your gun is not up for the gunfight. And I don't know if NJ was looking down or looking up, but his gun was not up for the gunfight either, as it is Dookie to shut him down. There goes a trade finally, though, as its Pivot does take out the Iana. A bit ironic, as Ispivus was only playing the Iana on the attacking half, and he's the one to take out the Iana first. It's a little bit of irony here, but there we go. There's a little bit of a ring around the rosy here between the Melusi and the Ash. It's the Ash to lose it, as on the other side of the map, Nate Season goes down. Dewey tried to pick up another, but taking a lot of damage in the process and not taking the player down with him. 3 versus 2 for Outnumbered to try and defend this site still. The 2 remaining attackers are quite spread apart, and I don't know how to pronounce that. The Thatcher is now having to push all by himself up these west main stairs. He's going to have 2 gun barrels staring down at him. He's looking the wrong way for the first engagement, and it's his pivots to take him out. It's all down to Dookie now with the diffuser cold and on the ground, currently in control of Outnumbered as they've come around to hang around it inside of Trophy. And it's all down to him now. Only 1 line scan left. He hears one, does get the kill. He still has 2 remaining defenders to try and go through. And it looks like they might be trying to pinch him here as well. He will be picking up the diffuser, but still he has those gunfights to run through no matter what. He has time now that he has diffuser, but again, that time is dwindling down with limited information. It's going to be very, very difficult. He's going to have to try and push into dining room. He does shut on Betty. This is now very winnable. 1 versus 1 versus Watchdog, who's putting down a few more of those magnets. But look at those Banshees denying entry for the Lion, and of course also giving quite a loud sound cue to the Wamai. But there goes the swing, and there goes the kill. Sodality, against all odds, managed to win that round. What a clutch! What a clutch! Wow.
Excellent comeback there from Sodality on the side of Dewey. I would not expect that, but he played well. I mean, they certainly look like they've learned something here. It looks like they've learned to adapt to Outnumbered. Excellent round. Wow, really impressive. 1 versus 3. He hit his shots. He knew where he was shooting. He was checking his corners. I mean, you can't fault him there. He played it perfectly to a key. He's learned his lines and he's performed it excellently.
100%. I love that. I love that analogy. I'm definitely gonna be stealing that from now on.
The learned his lines one.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so good. I'm afraid that might not work. The pause. This is me having observed before and knowing that once it gets to the infinite number, sometimes they won't let you pause it. So I'm a little bit, holding my breath here. But I did interrupt you. You were just starting to say something.
Bit of technical difficulty here, so I'll get on a rambling here. Outnumbered had a very runnable situation, but they spread out their players too far. That was what gave Doohee the chance he needed, and that he capitalized on very successfully to take individual one-on-one gunfights without anyone having the chance to reflag quickly. That is Sleepy from Solidarity going out, as unfortunately he did leave after picking the operator, so he didn't have a chance to pause it, and they are asking for a rehost.
Yeah, I do believe that it will be a rehost. Now, just to confirm with the producer, will this be a break, or are we just here to talk for the duration of it? Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's good, because I really don't like it when we go on a break and then I have to sort of restart it. I'd much rather just ramble. But you rambled about your thing, and you've given us quite a few statistics so far here. But I have a piece of my own statistics here from the notes that I've been keeping track of so far this game, and that is whichever team gets the opening pick will get the round win. So far, it has happened every single round. First, it was Sodality. They got the opening pick. They won the round. Then it was Sodality again. Then it was Outnumbered again. And now 3 times in a row, Sodality get the opening pick and they get the round win. Which I think a lot of other rounds, it was quite evident. They get the first and then they get the second, then they get the third. It's sort of following it up. But this time, or this most previous round from Sodality, it was. They got that opening pick onto NJ from. It was actually the Lion who got that kill. But then it sort of really didn't look like it was going to be their round, and I thought, oh, is this going to be where the pattern breaks up? But Dewey made sure to keep that pattern alive and to keep the pattern going with opening pick, and it equals round win.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts about
that? It was an excellent play. I mean, you absolutely cannot knock it. The momentum they've got now is very impressive. I think they're going to be able to keep a hold of this. I mean, I thought they were going to lose maybe 1-2 rounds, and I could see it there when they sort of took a round where it was pulling in there for a 1 versus 3. But Dewey just brought it right back around, showed some superior gun skill there. The first kill, the first pick wins is an interesting little tidbit. I haven't actually picked up on that. I've been keeping sort of a player count and map and site count. But looking at fraggers and rolls so far, we can actually see that Pans is certainly one of the highlights of SODALITY, with 4 kills by round 2, which is very impressive for any entry frag. But that's double it. That's at least a 2K in each round. And he had 7 kills by round 6, which is no small feat, and actually fairly impressive.
Yeah, 100%. I 100% agree with that. But it also just, it goes to show that it's not, sometimes looking at the kills, it might seem like a one-man show, especially when it's like that one, the entry just has so many kills. But it isn't a one-man show, because there's so many other nuances that need to come together perfectly for the entry to have that high kill count. Because it takes, the droning from the supports being like, okay, that's where a player is, or that's where a player might be. Stay holding this angle for a few seconds, and then, the player just happens to step a little too far away, and then it gets the kill, and it's like, thanks, that was a really great call. So it's not a one-man show, and it really goes to, and, when the entry is the one with the most kills, a lot of the time, it's not, it is representative of how good the team's structure is, because they are allowing that player, the player that they know is the most mechanically skilled, they're allowing him to go pick the quick operators, or the operators with really good guns, and they're just saying, okay, wait for the call, get those kills, and he manages to deliver on that, and that alleviates so much pressure for the rest of the players to do what they need to do, to set up the flank witch, to go for the breach, to get the utility taken care of, to get the plant down. So it's it really goes to show how much synergy is required, and it all starts with the entry being able to pick up those skills.
Definitely. I mean, we were talking about this in the last game we were in together. Believe we gave a support the MVP instead, because just how he did. I mean, he pulled in those last few kills in the dire seconds that he needed it. Dewey here, we can see, I believe, playing on the support role, playing on the line, things like that. He did an excellent job. He pulled in those kills when he needed it. Absolutely. A 1 versus 3, outstanding play. I believe that is the first 3K. We saw a Tivis 3K on the Malusi. But 1 versus 3 with, I believe it was 40 seconds left on the clock, is ever so impressive. And
it's just definitely very impressive. Yeah.
Just incredible play. Glad I was here to watch it, and glad I was here to cast it. But yeah, I think it's going to be, with this technical difficulty now, I don't know quite how the momentum's going to be. I think it's going to give SODALITY a time to chill out, rebuild their brains, go, okay, we're winning. We don't need to rush things. Keep playing things how we are, and this is absolutely in the bag for us. Whereas it gives Outnumbered the chance to say, Christ alive, what's happening here? Come on, guys. Pick up the slack, turn it around, and this could easily be in our hands if we just adapt to where we're going. But just, as I said, we could just see a finishing round in the next few rounds.
We could indeed, but you never really know with these technical timeouts. Sometimes the team that is sort of on the back foot and at a disadvantage, like we see Outnumbered being here right now, being down 5-2. Sometimes they just turn it around. This is basically a free timeout, and it's basically the second timeout for them, as of course they've already spent there right before the previous round, and now they get another one to discuss everything that's going wrong, and especially the last one was sort of poorly timed a little bit, just because you never really know what to expect. The way that I'm always looking at it when it comes to tag timeouts is that you want to take it at either a high point. So if you're down, 0-3 or 0-4, that is when you take it. Or when your enemies have started to pick up a little bit of traction, or if you've really started to slip off. If you were up 5-1 and then suddenly it's 5-4, that's when you sort of put on the brakes. So they put it at a bit of a odd time where the round or the half had ended, and then it was just before the next half. So it's like they don't know really how SODALITY play on attack. they, haven't played defense yet, so they don't really know themselves either. They're having to, rewire their brains a little bit to get back into the mood for defense after playing 6 rounds of attack. So it was maybe a little bit ill-timed. So having this now technical timeout is a bit of a saving grace maybe for them, because now they've seen a round of SODALITY's attack and they're like, okay, this is how they do, this is how they play. And then also they've seen themselves in the way that they play, because that was, by all accounts, their round to win. And then they just sort of let it slip. As you said earlier, they spread themselves too thin. They focused too much on saving that diffuser and keeping control of that diffuser once it came down to a 1 versus 3, and then they just let themselves fall down and crumble away for Dewey to just pick up the pieces and pick up that round. So maybe just, their coach giving, a little bit of a stern talking to them and be like, hey, don't do that. You had that round in the bag.
Definitely. 1v1s are important in Siege. I mean, picking off an operator in a 1v1 is important, as that completely eliminates a fat chance of you dying afterwards, and it gives you a chance to fall back, recoup, and then have a think. 2v1s are just as important, as you could refrag on someone else if something does tend to happen to you. They didn't have anyone there. They were giving themselves 1 versus 1, so they put too much confidence in. And Dewey had the information. He checked those common spots where they were sitting, pre-fired, and won his kills fair and square. And it was a very impressive display that I think we're going to be seeing, hopefully, more of. As I said, it could also just go into a completely dull game with 2 failed plants and everyone's still alive at the end. But I hope that that's not how it goes. Just waiting on 1 player to return, I believe now. Sleepy is rebooting up his game. My chicken Parmo is going cold. And it is currently Revival League Season 2 closed qualifiers round 1.
Wow, that was brilliant. Maybe I should leave you alone more often. You have some great little sayings and little tidbits. I love hearing those. I don't have enough of those. Although when I saw the teams that we're gonna be getting for today's games, the teams that we're gonna be casting, and I saw Outnumbered, I made it a point in my head to make as many, they are outnumbered puns as possible, but I've just not really had the chance to do it. But I also will admit I've also not really thought of it until you started saying your little ones now. So I'm gonna make it a point to try and sneak in at least a little one in there. I think that's quite a lot of fun whenever you get the chance with a team name like that. Keeping
it fresh. Well, I mean, to be fair, he was outnumbered. So I mean, living up to their name, I suppose. Team SODALITY just completely blew me away with this. I came in expecting Outnumbered to win. Obviously, looking at their record, they are undefeated. This will be the first game that they lose if they lose it. Whereas SODALITY do have a couple of losses under their belt, which is no shame at all. All teams do. So it's just an impressive display, and it's a very exciting display. But yeah, you've just got to pick up on your tidbits and little puns. Yeah, I definitely do. There's not enough teams, I feel like, that have a name where you can really make it work. Like our next game that we're gonna have after this one is gonna be Hoax and Sakuda. What am I supposed to do with that one? I think teams have to, bring it back and have more generic names that I can work into puns. I mean, Hoax is a pretty good one. Yeah, Hoax you can do. I've thought of so many. Like, I've tried to do so many, but it just doesn't work. Like, Hoax definitely could be like, I don't know. It could be like, they've I guess if maybe security was a hoax. Oh, that's a good one. The way that I was thinking about it is if maybe they sort of put like a bit of a juke type thing. It's like, it looks like they're gonna be attacking from the west side, but then they attack from the east side. It's like, it was a hoax or something like that. But it's just I haven't really managed to make it work. That was a good one. Who else have we got? Sakudo. Yeah, I'm not gonna try that one. What other matches can we be looking forward to within the Revival League close qualifiers? Let me have a
Another
look
one
now.
that was good that I sort of made like off stream about shortest possible route back when they when they got 7-0'd by Hoax in their first game in the open qualifiers. Off stream, I said that they are doing they are on the shortest possible route to losing the game or something like that.
That's that's a good one. A shortest possible route to being eliminated.
Yeah. But now now they're in the close qualifiers, so it doesn't even work anymore.
Well, we've got the War Dogs, 5-star. 5 stars is a good one. I reckon we can definitely work 5 stars into this one.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Looks like we're about to be setting off again. 5 stars for our production team here.
Excellent.
Let's get this hoax over with.
Wow.
Getting back into the game, and I do believe we're going to be taking the shortest possible route into Villa. Chalet, even. As many people tell me, my jokes are outnumbered.
Dude, okay.
That is the trifecta, and we can get back into this with a 5 versus 2. That is 2 rounds until a possible team SODALITY victory, or 5 rounds until outnumbered.
It could be.
Sleepy's PC is actually in parts, as he still has not put it back together. Speaking of PCs, have you seen the fish tank styled ones that fly on the mineral oil?
No, I've not seen this. Where's this?
People have been using mineral oil to fill up their PCs, the cases, as it looks like water. It's denser and it won't get stuck between fans, and it won't harm the electronics at all. So people have been putting their PCs in there, and they've been putting the little, robo fish, like the mechanical ones.
Oh yeah.
Those in there, because if you put real fish in there, it would suffocate.
Yeah, obviously. That's really cool. You're gonna have to send me a link of that. That'd be really. I want to see that.
I'll see if I can put one on the Revival League Twitter. If you guys are ever looking for another round, we are actually able to run 2 accounts now. We have managed to get enough casters and a high enough production team. So make sure you also check out Revival League on Twitch, where we'll be streaming our B team, our B stream even, where we'll be sending all sorts of our different things going on there.
Yes, very exciting times. I'm very happy that this is something that we're able to provide for you guys now here in the close qualifiers, after spending basically the entirety of open qualifiers by myself. It is definitely very nice to be able to not only have a co-caster here with me now, but to have a completely different team casting the previous game, and to have a completely different team casting the 2 games on the other stream. All very exciting times, and it is definitely a new age of Revival League right here, right now. But without any further ado, a minute has already gone. No one dead yet. Which is quite surprising. Yeah. Typically, by this point, somebody is dead. And look at Sleepy and Pans. An unlikely duo of Thermite and Ash pushing up the west main stairs will be in the first engagement here against the Jaeger inside of Trophy. But there's an earlier engagement against the Smoke that Pans ends up winning out. And there goes Sleepy, taking out the Jaeger, who I thought would be the front lines here. It's going to have to be Watchdog to try and push back into sight, as Outnumbered have lost control of it. Pants taking out Watchdog. That was the only chance that they really had of taking it back. And now it's down to Pivot and NNJ to try and take it back again. Pivot's taking so much damage from this front side. NNJ still upstairs. Pivot gets taken down. The plant is going down. 1 versus 5. It's going to have to be a clutch for the ages here, as NNJ is outnumbered in a post-plant situation. Taking a lot of damage from those vertical angles as well. They have some information. He's able to get 1 player from the vertical, but there goes the shutdown from upstairs of the doorway. He's just chilling there, and he finds him, gets the kill. SODALITY put themselves on the match point, and it looks like that technical timeout really did not do Team Outnumbered any favors.
Absolutely not. No, Outnumbered just seems to not be where it needs to be. I don't know what's happened to them. They had 2 good rounds where they completely picked up. They were adapting and they knew what they needed to do to win. but SODALITY just maybe it's the experience they've got with matches under their belt. I don't know what it is, but they just been a better side so far. People like Dewey, people like Pans. Pans is doing absolutely incredible, really good fragging talent and an outstanding mechanical skill. I've seen all sorts of kills from him. I believe now we're on match point round 9. I believe he's on 10 or 11 kills overall. Obviously, we can't quite check that due to the rehost, but according to my count, it's around 11. So it's just an exciting day. Lots of good mechanical skill in these leagues, and I think the next few matches are just going to get better and closer as we seed people with more appropriate teammates, oppositions. We
More
don't want them playing
appropriate
their
teammates.
We don't want them playing their teammates.
No, they are just. You know what? You were back. Although there's a lot of teams that do that, especially in this sort of like T3, T4 side of things. You see it a lot less. You know, the higher up you go, just because teams, or orgs rather, work a lot harder to find teams that are going to be, a really really good fit, and they put a lot of work into it. R&D and everything, to make sure that this is going to be a team that lasts a while. Whereas in T3 and T4, with people coming in and out, and lives getting busier and lives getting not so busy, you see it a lot with teams just changing rosters, sometimes even mid-tournaments. Unfortunately, we saw it happen even in Season 1 playoffs, where a couple teams were just constantly playing with subs as they lost their players right before the playoffs. So a bit unfortunate there. Oh no, Pivus missing the shots on taking that Vulcan canister, but it does do so much damage onto the Ash. And here comes the C4 to boot. It will catch Pans, and there goes the first kill. Outnumber take the opening kill, using more of these Goyo canisters to try and deny entry from SODALITY, and it is working perfectly. This is one of the strengths of Goyo, and it's all the way on the top floor. It's nowhere near sight either. He's wasting so much time. They do take him out, but he's wasted a minute of their time, and it's not even around sight. It is all the way on the top floor. Great job there from Pivus to do that, and to take out a player as well. That's the Ash. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, wow, really good job there from Pivus. I mean, a little bit of a whiff onto the cans, but that happens to the best of us. Sometimes we just have our shaky hands. Didn't hear the Ash hop in, which was a bit of a concern to me, unless he did, which is why he did the canister, but I don't think he did. I think that was a precaution. Impressive nonetheless. It was a really good play from him. He's wasted a lot of time, and he's done his job to the T.
And this is one of the ways that we see Fuse used. You don't see Fuse get brought all that often, and a lot of the times people see him as a sort of a troll pick. But on this map, and on this side specifically, he's very, very strong for that reason exactly. He's able to push into that office balcony window, push into the top of fireplace, and then use these Fuse charges to blow up the floor and make a lot of vertical angles available to the attackers. But now, very interestingly, 2 defenders are off site and trying to pull off a little bit of a flank. And if Nate Season pushes in, he could get the kill, and he does get the kill onto the Fuse, not before that hard breach gadget was deployed. So the hatch will get opened. The Thatcher now hunting the Jaeger inside of dining room. Who's going to be able to win this gunfight out? I think it might be Nate Season to pick up that kill and to pick up the diffuser as well. Outnumbered are looking so much better in this. Wow. So much better. And Sleepy seems to be AFK as well. As the time dwindles down, he might be having trouble with his PC, as we spoke before. So this is just really, really not good for SODALITY. It's outnumbered to win the round. And you cannot say that it has anything to do with that player being AFK or because of them having issues with their PC. That was all team outnumbered. They did a really, really great job. First Pivus upstairs, wasting time and getting the kill onto the Ash, and then just collapsing onto the rest of the players with those flanks and with those kills. Really, really well done from outnumbered to pick up another round on the board.
Absolutely, that was a great defense from outnumbered there. They wasted time. They used their numbers to the advantage. They stuck together, which is what is important. I don't know if they learned from their mistake or it was just how they were standing, but they absolutely nailed it. I believe we're seeing a second timeout here from SODALITY, but I don't. Oh, was their first timeout in the other round? Yes, it was in the first. It was in the first one, so that's why I'm seeing two. I believe you were only meant to have one.
Yeah, you're only meant to have one, but it was the earlier tag timeout was by outnumbered, so this is
right,
SODALITY's
okay.
first and only.
All right, excellent. No worries then. Just making sure. Wasn't quite sure. Believe I'd got some wrong notes in my spider scribbles. Coming back into it, looks like we have a lost Sleepy again. PC. He's put his PC in mineral oil. Hopefully that should not mean rehost. But they looks like they're going to try and play on anyways. But I certainly think that outnumbered could probably bring it back from here then. They've got the man advantage. And now they've got the gun advantage as well. So we'll see how it plays out. I think this is probably going to be outnumbers round. And I can just smell my food getting colder and colder.
I mean, you can smell your food getting colder and colder. I can pretty much smell your food from here. I'm getting quite hungry here, so I think we're both in a position of please end it quickly so that I can eat my food. But no, we all love long games and we all love when it runs long. But I mentioned it before that so far we've had the pattern of the team that picks up the first kill is the team that ends up winning the round, and it has rung true even now in this second half.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I wonder how much more that's going to now be true now that it's a 4 versus 5.
Well, we're going to find out pretty soon. As soon as Team SODALITY gets the first kill, if they don't win that round or win the game, that certainly means that they're going to be breaking the charm.
Yeah.
Could be a potion. And how you look on it?
Wasting a little bit of utility there as Dookie is, I do believe that was a misclick to throw that EMP charge onto the pillar outside. Of course, didn't catch any utility as there is none out there. Might not be that big of a deal, but it also could be. You could be missing a little bit of that, especially when you're outnumbered from the get-go. It could be a bit of an issue, and especially using those bulletproof cameras as well to their advantage. A very interesting way of using the bulletproof EMP charge or EMP blast. I think a lot of people forget that is a feature. I remember when that was added, or when it was announced rather in the season reveal, whatever season that was, everyone was, oh my god, that is so OP, and then you see it very, very rarely. In comp, I think you see it a little bit more, but even still, you don't see it often enough, in my opinion, for how strong of a feature that is. And there goes Doogie with the opening pick onto Watchdog.
Well, now we find out if the curse stands true or if it's going to balance out, and we could see Team SODALITY win this one.
Indeed. Pivot here and a bit of a stare down against the player outside the front entrance. Nate Season picking up a very, very long angle onto that window, a bit of a pixel angle. And I do believe that is a one-way angle. I don't think that you can see that area as clearly from the window as you can.
I do not believe so, no.
Yes, but that is quite an interesting angle. There goes NJ picking up a kill onto the Iana, but there goes another one as well. That DMR, the only DMR in defense, absolutely annihilating the attackers so far. It's all down to Pans, 1 versus 4. Again, completely outnumbered. The diffuser is cold on the ground. I think I'm abusing it a little bit now. And Nathan will be rotating around to the mezzanine area to try and maybe flank onto him a little bit. Pans using his gadget to his advantage, trying to avoid any cameras or utility that could be spotting him out. He knows that there's one at the chimney position. He gets him. He knows there's one coming up the fireplace stairs, or the library stairs, but unfortunately cannot pick up that kill. And outnumbered are starting to claw this back, and I think this is going to be a much more interesting match than we originally expected.
Yeah, I wonder if the damage of losing Sleepy is what's doing this to SODALITY. But, I mean, there's nothing more we can do. I mean, outnumbered won that on their own accord. Curse is now broken. You can't win just because you get the starting kill. But NNJ there was something we haven't seen from him yet this game. A 3K. We did see a 2K in round 3, but it was impressive. But with the DMR and OUTNMBRD, nonetheless, where he was cornered at one position, impressive play. One way you could have been able to combat him there, if you're looking at the museum or library, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people call it different things. Where we are looking now, where NNJ is setting up, he was actually tucked in that far bookcase towards the outside wall. They had the windows open, so they had the master window open, and they had the little between bookcase window open. A nade could have easily thrown in from either side, hitting the walls into small room, and with the right aim, or even just close, you would have easily been able to bounce them in, even using those little pillars on the inside, where they hold the sacred texts. I'm not quite sure what's in them. You would be able to bounce a grenade off those, and they can land quite perfectly in that corner, if not nearby, for enough damage to either knock someone or completely just eliminate them.
Yes, I don't want to sort of pounce on you and make it seem like I'm bullying you for mispronouncing something, because I do it a lot as well. But I just find it so funny how it's Team SODALITY, and you have been mispronouncing the team name so far, which I'm not faulting you for it. I just find it humorous.
I think I was saying solidarity earlier, which was like another name for being alone. So I think I went with SODALITY because it's different to that, so I didn't want to make them seem lonely.
Oh, well, you.
Yeah. That's a good point from our production team. Then Sleepy has left his team in solidarity.
Wow. Oh, that. Well, is that really what that word means? Doesn't that word mean like in solidarity with someone, like togetherness?
You can be like togetherness,
teamwork?
but there's also like a lonely version.
Isn't that solitude?
Might be solitude.
But yeah, I just to clear, just
it brought them together, and now they're in solidarity. They're solid together, and they're going to win this round. And we're going to see a cheeky little 7-4 as we have earlier today. It's getting late. I haven't eaten, and that's my excuse for the lack of poor good words.
Oh my lord, maybe you need to put your brain in some minerals. But yeah, just to clarify, I'm not bashing you for mispronouncing it. I mainly find it humorous that you haven't mispronounced it one way. You've mispronounced it about 6 different ways. And Bans pushes into sight, gets 1 kill. Can he get a couple more? No, he gets shut down as Reb picks up another instead of sight. 3 versus 3. Great job from SODALITY to equalize this and put themselves a bit of a better position, as of course now they're technically in a better position, as they've only lost 1 player so far in this round, as opposed to OUTNMBRD losing 2, and us also losing the Legion, who is quite important. The breach will be getting opened up, but Benny is there to deny any entry through it. From a prone position, Pants could be looking to get something. So far, nothing, but it's 20 seconds to go, and they're still trying to go up against these smoke babes. Pants pushing through the doorway. He is getting spotted out, however, by that bulletproof camera. Can't quite hit that shot on Nate Season. He's the one to win that gunfight. The time is dwindling down. Can SODALITY do this? There goes 1 kill. Ace is trying to go for the plant. It's all up to Dookie to try and hold on to this, but he gets shut down as well, and Dookie cannot win it. Nate Season wins that round for Team OUTNMBRD. Put them only a round behind. And I think we might be seeing overtime. We're definitely going to be seeing all 12 rounds of regulation. But Summon, could this be the first overtime game in the qualifiers on stream? Will it be?
Absolutely, I think it will be, because I mean we're looking at 2 teams that it's either win this one and win. Although Sleepy does return, this could be the win for him. But I think the likelihood is that OUTNMBRD are on the fire now. They pick up where they're going, and they completely just beat out Team SODALITY. So, you know what? I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to say Team S. I've been saying it too long now, and it's stuck in my head. But with Sleepy's return, I think that it's certainly a winnable thing, as they were getting right down to the bone. Outnumbered was very close there. I mean, a 1 versus 2, when you came up with a man advantage into the round anyways, that's not great. I think it was very, very lucky that they didn't have Sleepy. I think that was one of the key things that helped Outnumbered win that round. Not to poo on any of their skills, shit on their parade, as some might say. Absolutely nailing it. I think they are doing very well, but I think now with the return of Sleepy, that gives them a full roster. Sleepy's very good at what he does, the deep roam and the early picks. So I think that we're going to see a good round from him here, and I think we're going to see a closeout, hopefully, for my stomach.
It might also be, you know, Outnumbered now have a little bit of a momentum that they've picked up. They've won a few rounds now here back to back. And SODALITY haven't played with Sleepy in a little bit. This is 3 rounds that they've spent without them. Are they going to be able to do something here? But Pans is creeping up to this wine doorway. Benny is the only one on site, and he is on cams. Are they even going to be aware of the attack that is happening? As so many of their teammates are roaming, but it's Nate Season on top of the hatch to shut down the sledge that was pushing in. Got a little bit overzealous, wanted to get the kill onto the Cade that was inside of sight, and on cams. But now 4 versus 5 here for SODALITY. They've been here before, quite literally, the past 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Except it was Sleepy that was gone. NNJ picks up Dookie. There goes Watchdog with another. Diffuser now cold and on the ground from that vertical angle. We've seen it work before, and it's working again. It's all down to the Buck and the Thatcher, an unlikely duo that you will see in a clutch position like this to try and salvage not only this round, but this game as well. As, of course, Outnumbered winning this round will put them into overtime. And, I mean, this is absolute insanity so far in this game.
I mean, it's safe to say that they are actually outnumbered now. 5 versus 2, that's left them with almost nothing. There's not much they're going to be able to do to come back from this. It's going to have to be a slow burner. I think they really tried and take the victory here too quickly. I think that's what they did. They over-aggressed, which allowed for lack of droning, which got Nate his first kill. Benny was able to stay safe without taking any damage. And now they're left with 2 players left, and they've got to try and make a play. As I say that, it's brought down to 1, and we could even see a flawless.
It definitely could be a flawless, especially as Nate Season picks up that kill and drops away through the hatch, decides, you know what, I've done my job. I've paid my dues. I've picked up a couple kills from this position. I do not need to hold it anymore. He pulls away down into the fridge position, and now it's all down to the Buck to try and salvage this. They're blowing up those Vulcan canisters to try and deny as much entry as possible for him. Diffuser's still cold and on the ground inside of Trophy. It looks like he's going to be completely avoiding it. He's going to try and maybe pick up a kill from somebody that over-aggresses, and I think that this is a moment that Team SODALITY are using to try and maybe discuss what's happening. And wow!
That's a flawless.
Point blank with the shotgun. Flawless, and we see overtime summoned. Do you understand how excited I am that we're finally seeing overtime? I just wish that we weren't both very hungry right now, as I think we would both be a lot more excited that this game is going to overtime.
I am excited for our first overtime of the season. I mean, it's took us a long time. But what hasn't taken us a long time is these flawless rounds. I mean, we're seeing one almost every single game that we've casted consistently. Just last game, we saw a flawless from GDRX, completely flawlessing Koffian. It was an impressive show of skill, and I think a flawless can really damage a team's mental and just completely knock them out.
Yeah, this is it's definitely going to be an interesting game now, as now we see both teams on full with their full rosters. We see the side switch again, so Team SODALITY are back on defense for the first time in 6 rounds. This is just going to be absolutely crazy. I am very, very excited. very,
Yeah,
very excited
we
indeed.
can certainly tell you're very excited, Retro.
You have no idea what this has been like. I
it
spent the
is
entire
no.
open qualifiers by myself, casting 7-2s and 7-3s, whilst also getting word from Happy, hey, by the way, the game that we decided not to cast is actually going 7-7 right now, and it's going down to the wire. So
19 without an OT. We've just been informed. 19 games,
no.
single overtime.
No, it's so many games. But now we finally might be able to get it. It is games and bar defense for Team SODALITY. They've won it before. They've lost it before, if I am not mistaken. Yes, that is exactly. Oh no, they've won it both times.
Yeah,
They've won it both times that they defended.
I think they won both times because they had the. They even won it one time on the attack as well.
Yeah.
I think the only time they've lost it is one attack that they were having onto it. But yeah, so they've actually got a pretty high completion rate on this site. Looking at both sides combined, that's a 75% completion.
Oh, and Pants absolutely outplaying the Ash outside the garage breach. It's Watchdog to follow with another fall, and Team SODALITY have quite the advantage here at 5-3, and still quite a lot of the game left to play, or the round left to play, rather. Benny will be jumping into the solarium window to join his teammates on the upper floor. Pivot's trying to find any information at all with the Iana clone, but now they have limited utility to try and clear out those shields. And of course, I speak about this every time, is that those shields are in crucial positions and are very difficult to clear if you don't have all of your utilities still available. They have spotted out those crossmats as well, so they are going to be aware of that. But again, as I said before, Frost's strength isn't always actually downing someone. Sometimes it's just enough the fact that your gun isn't up for the gunfight and you're going down. They're pushing out the Womai from his position. They're flashing him out, but a grenade didn't follow, so that shield is still in place. Pan's taking a little bit of damage. I'm not really even sure where he's playing. I think that might be the player pushing up the footholes into the office wall, which we've seen work before. That is pretty much what has won SODALITY every single round on this defense. Wow! Sleepy taking out Pivot, and now it's all down to Benny and NJ to try and salvage this round to keep Outnumbered in play. NJ does see the player at the bottom of the stairs. He does shut him down, but I'm afraid it might even be a little too late, as Benny is still outside the building and is not really sure what to do. They have the diffuser in hand, but they still have so many players to try and take care of, and whiffing a few of those shots might be enough to lose them this round. Benny does pick up the kill, however, finally. Good shot, but there goes the shutdown. They line up for the SMG-11, and that might have just been one bullet there from Dookie to pick up both of them. Actually, I think it was 2 bullets to pick up the both of them. But another round on the board for Team SODALITY, and they are on overtime match point this time. They've been on match point so far. It's overtime match point here and now, but Outnumbered are back on defense, back to basement, which they won in quite the confident fashion both times that they defended it. Can they pull it off again? Bring us all the way into round 15. Can it happen?
I mean, Sleepy, wow, he absolutely put two of those players to bed. I mean, that last shot we saw there was completely, I was just out of this world. Really good mechanics, and it just showed us just what he's made of, and why he's such a valuable asset to this team. Dewey coming in again. I mean, we've seen what we've seen from Dewey. He's absolutely not let us down. But someone who I haven't quite seen the performance from, who I thought maybe we would, is Ruse. I just haven't seen much from him this season so far, or this game. So I think maybe we're going to see more from him later. Maybe he's just resting his legs for coming from fresh. Overtime match point. We spent 5 rounds on match point previously. Will we see them close? Will we see them close it out, or are we going to see Outnumbered bring it back against all odds?
I don't know. It's definitely going to be very, very exciting to see.
exciting. It certainly is. Not sure what happened there. I don't know if that is a sound issue or what's happened, but we are seeing a good droning attack here from SODALITY. I think we're going to see a strong push here from them today, and I think it's going to be very important that they keep together, work together, keep using the information that they currently have. Looking at kills, we can certainly see that Doohy is leading with Pans in the front. I mean, fairly spread out among them, unlike the side of Outnumbered, where NNJ outnumbers the rest. I mean, 9 to the lowest being 1. It's just an impressive display, and it's something that I'm hoping we are going to see finish out. It's going to be a tight round, this one. I think it's going to be important as SODALITY are going to be playing for it, and Peevis goes down straight away there. I believe that's Pans that got the pick. Or is it possibly, I think it might have been Dewey on the rappel. I think they know he's down as they're trying to finish him. You can see the Dewey's round slowly ticking away as they go into the wall. As Pan's watching to see if any revive comes up, and Peevis has actually dropped and managed to get the revive from NNJ. Incredibly important there. That gives him a lag, but I believe that gives top floor control to Team SODALITY. We now can see the Ash try and hold the upstairs, as the rest of the operators try and make their way around. Dewey on his typical position, their basement, a site now where all players are currently. They have complete free reign, and that means they have control of the verticals. Still wondering where my partner Retro is, but I guess that's something we'll have to find out. Completely gone now, as we try to find out just how this match is going to end. Maybe he got so hungry, he just had to call it quits. Sleepy opening up the back wall here. I mean, there's someone stood, or 2 people stood on the desk there. If only he had decided to open up those walls, that would have been a great eye line and a great way to shut down those areas. Pans coming in from the stairs, seeing if he can spot anyone. There's 2 people close. Can he see the guy on the barrels? It's Disco moving over. Haven't said his name much today, but it's good to see that he's going to be trying to make a play. Pan's getting his pick onto Peevis, and here comes the swing from Nate Season, who finally gets his kill, hidden away in the barrels. Can he get a swap on? Ruse taking damage as Dewey gets the kill. Watchdog refragging onto Ruse as Dewey gets Benny. Wow, all happened very quick, and Outnumbered just absolutely battered those last 2 players. I believe this is OT match point. Next round wins. Just keeps going. Yes, O-time match point. SODALITY on the fence. Winner wins. I think it's going to be SODALITY victory here. We've seen nothing but wins from the defensive sides. However, they have lost Sleepy again, so again they're now a man down and outnumbered, which I need to stop trying to say as much as that is the team name and a terrible pun. That round was incredibly quick and just cut down in the end there. I mean, I didn't even have a chance to say the names of the players that were getting killed or the players that were getting the kills in the last few seconds. Completely mowed down by the alibi. They just picked up the kills, they knew what was coming, they knew where they were pushing from, and they all aggressed 1 by 1. They didn't go 1 by 1. They all came in as a team, and it just rocked them out and shut them down. So impressive. Absolutely outstanding way to play, and a good round overall. Info on Retro's position, his PC has crashed. And here he comes, and I can finally stop nattering. Is he quite back yet?
Back. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so my PC crashed in the worst time possible. I thought I was gonna miss it. I really didn't want Team SODALITY to win that. Oh my goodness. Oh no, another. This is insane. Sleepy crashed as well, did he?
Sleepy did go down as well, yeah.
No.
Perhaps it's just
ever.
check
The worst time.
Styles.
Outnumbered won that round, and now we are full OT. How poetic that the first game that we go to overtime, we go full overtime is absolutely crazy. I really thought I was going to miss the end of the game there. I was going to be very, very sad.
You would have liked last round. Very quick, very fast, lots of high-paced kills. I actually couldn't keep up in the end there. It all just happened in a blur. Everyone died. Pretty intense.
Well,
would have liked it. Would have got your heart pumping. But now I think we're going to see. I was hoping possibly for a team SODALITY win, but I don't think we're going to see it as they are man down. I'm not going to say outnumbered, as I think we've used that enough.
Yeah, I think we've beat that one to death. But this really could be trouble here for Team SODALITY. But Outnumbered have already spent quite a lot of time trying to clear out a lot of these positions. Some of them they don't even contain a player, but that one did, and it's NJ to shut down Pans as the first player off the board for Team SODALITY. 3 versus 5 now, but this position is still very, very strong. We've seen Ruse play it before and play it very, very well. So I wouldn't count Team SODALITY out quite just yet.
Yeah, I mean, going off of the fact that first kill wins, technically, I mean, that put Outnumbered with 2 first kills now. I mean, Team SODALITY came in without a player. Surely that counts. No, that is the first pick there, and I think Outnumbered are outnumbering the other team. I mean, they've got the manpower, they've got the gunpowder, they've got the information, and they're still alive.
Oh, Nateeson just narrowly avoiding death, but there we go, an absolute shutdown.
The defender-sided map. I think that was our first attacking win. One of the first even attacking wins we saw with such a high surviving player count. Really good match. I mean, that was an intense match. Wow.
An absolute insanity of a game. NNJ MVP, at least for
in game
the game as after the what's it called, the tech timeout. I'm not really sure who's who the highest kill player has been overall. I think you were keeping track of that. At least I hope. Otherwise, we were just.
Pans was the highest player overall, shortly followed by NNJ in the end there. Both had very, very similar games, kill-wise. Really impressive. If my count could be off, though, as I have been trying to watch other stats. However, I do believe that Pans had a really good game with matching kills.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess we're not going to stay here for too long, as of course we do have to try and gobble down our food in the next 7 minutes. But I do want to see what your thoughts are for MVP. I mean, this game was so long; it's really hard to try and pinpoint an MVP here from so many players. Who do you put forth? I don't even have an idea.
Almost impossible to pick someone. I mean, if there were a variation of just different people who were absolutely instrumental to the game. I mean, Dewey was someone whose name was in our mouth a lot. I mean, 1 versus 3, 2K retakes. He had 2 retakes, site retakes with 2Ks in them, a 1 versus 3 comeback, and a collateral headshot. I mean, if we're going off mechanical skill, Dewey's the man for me.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with you, just because I feel like that clutch was so monumental. Because that's the round that put SODALITY up 5-2 at that point, when they had absolutely no reason to be winning that round. There was no reason they should have won that round. There was no reason they should have gained the advantage there, and that might as well have been the almost the winning round for them. Oh wait, no, doesn't the winning the MVP have to be from the winning team? Is that a thing? I always felt like that was a thing.
Oh, does it?
Oh, it does it?
It is a thing, then might be wrong. Okay, well, Dewey would be if it was for the other team. But, I mean, if we're going for MVP of that side, Peevis's name was in our mouths a lot, as was NNJ. I think if we're going off kills, NNJ would be it for me. If we're going off excellent defensive strategy, it would be for Peevis. So...
I think I'm gonna agree with you for Peevis, just because there was a lot of plays where it was again something that shouldn't have worked or gone in Outnumbered's favor, and then it did. And I think one of the most obvious examples of that was the first round when it was a 4 versus 5, when he wasted so much time as the Goyo upstairs, completely far and away from sight, wasting so much time with those Vulcan canisters, and then later on also using those Vulcan canisters to his advantage. It's a very, very important.
Also, he picked up the Malusi 3K, which run the round for them earlier in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also,
definitely.
he was playing the Iana in the first half as well, picking up a lot of kills there as well on the first half. So yeah, I think we're gonna give it to Pivus for this time. But you might be looking at that. If you're an NJ or if you're an NJ fan, you might be looking at that and thinking, well, he just got robbed. He had so many kills. He dropped like 67 kills and he didn't get MVP. Players like NJ are, timeless players that will be coming up again and again and again in every single one of these games. So I have no doubt that the next time that we get to see Outnumbered play, they will be, NJ will probably be contending for that MVP slot. So we do try to give it to players who might not always be in that spotlight. And so we're going to give it to Pivus. And thank you for watching this game, but don't go anywhere because we will be back in like 5 minutes with Hoax versus Sakudo. Hopefully, we'll not be talking with our mouths full. Anyway, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Wasting them with you. I was wasting them when you were showing me fake love that I couldn't see was true. Left me with these memories. Now I'm missing somebody I knew, and I know it wasn't you. Why'd you have to fool me like that? Caught me into, and tell me that you love me, keep me guessing, and whisper that you want me so bad. Got me thinking that we could last forever. I'll make you, you're gone. Why'd you have to fool me like that? Fool me like that. Going round in circles, tripping over hurdles, looking for the answer in the spots we used to go to. Now it's all but over, every breath is colder. Look over my shoulder, now I see what I fell into. Now I see you were showing me fake love that I couldn't see wasn't true. Left me with these memories. Now I'm missing somebody I knew, and I know it wasn't you. Why'd you have to fool me like that? Caught me into, and tell me that you love me, keep me guessing, and whisper that you want me so bad. Got me thinking that we can last forever. I'll make you, you're gone. Why'd you have to fool me like? Fool me like that.
Attention citizens. Please commence routine 1399. Proceed instantly to the center. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Revival League Season 2 Close Qualifiers Round 1. My name is Retro, and I'm joined here by some of the nerds. Summon, are you okay?
Hello, everyone. I'm back. We've all eaten rather rapidly, and we're ready to cast this next game of Hoaxy Sports versus Sakudo.
Sakudo.
Sakudo. That was the
It's happening again with you, isn't it?
Back. Straight away, as bans are coming out, we're seeing a very typical Flores ban. Yes, it is happening with me. But a very typical Flores ban, as we said. So far in the qualifiers, they've had a 34.1% ban rate. Only person matching that is Ying. We've also seen a lot of you. And there we are. Speak of the devil, and she shall appear. In comes the Ying ban. That is our two most banned attackers banned out. Going off this, we are likely to see a Mirror and Azami ban. Were my interesting ban. We haven't. I don't think we've seen him banned very much. I think that was probably one of the first. Recently getting his 1.5, that makes him a lot more lethal than he used to be. And let's see if we follow. And there we are, 53% increases as we see Mirror leave. We are now on. Also, we are on our most played map of the season, with 14 games appearing on Oregon. This is an incredibly defender-sided game from what we've seen so far. 61.3% defensive win, with Hoax and Sakudo both playing on in the open qualifiers and both finishing with almost mirrored scores. This is going to be very important to take notice of, as both these teams are going to be part of that 61.3%. Looking at placements from Open Qualifier 1, we could see coming in 5th was Hoax Esports with a 3-2 win ratio, and that's coming in 6th was Sakudo with a 3-2 win ratio as well. Literally by the tether. I mean, these two games could not have gotten very much closer at all. In fact, I can tell you the difference in round ratio if you want. The difference between these two teams was 1 tiebreaker point
Attackers must locate
and
defuse
6
Wow.
round difference.
Wow.
They are very close teams, and it's going to be possibly, hopefully, because now we've eaten, we're going to be able to enjoy it. It's going to be an overtime game with all sorts of excitements to come on. An exciting thing for you is Fake Retro as well.
Yes, Fake Retro. I was going to bring that up. This is a team that I'm biased against. Hoax are a team that I'm biased against due to the presence of a Fake Retro. The reason that he is, or that I call him Fake Retro, is because I am the real one. He is the fake one. You'll see a lot of the times he will be doing a lot of things that you might look at and think, oh, that's something that the real Retro would do, as he's trying to imitate me, but unfortunately it doesn't work because he's just not me. So if you ever see Retro.hoax out and about, just know that that is not the real Retro, and Braz here could be getting taken out. Oh, as a little bit of a whiff. I think that was pixels worth for both of these players here. Mr. Easter doing quite a little damage onto Braz, who does manage to escape with his life intact, yet still. But that could be a bit of a challenge nevertheless. Sneaky denying a little bit of this hard breaching from happening with those Cade claws. Of course, there's Thatcher to actually allow that to happen, but he will be trying to trick. The trick will fail, and he will take his claw elsewhere to try and deny another wall. But look at how much time has already passed. I mean, that's basically 2 minutes now gone, and everyone in the lobby is still alive. When has that ever happened? And on Oregon basement, no less. So this is definitely going to have to be a collapse onto the site from Hoax. We've seen them do before. Can they actually successfully do this against a team like Sokodu? It's going to be definitely a question that we're going to be asking ourselves here in a moment, especially against all three of those smoke babes still in pocket for Evan, and the Warden, who's going to deny a lot of advantage that maybe Retro and Corix could gain with those flashbangs.
Yeah, I mean,
Pixel
we're
rotating
seeing
around.
play very sneaky here, and there we are. There's my curse striking for the first time this game. As soon as I speak, we see someone fall.
But the hatch drop has happened. Chicken wasn't aware of it, and Cyberstar is able to capitalize on that. So many kills happening, so much so that my stream is freezing. Corix picking up another one as it's now a 2 versus 2 with 15 seconds left to go. Hatch drop again. The diffuser is in hand of Retro, who will be trying to go for the plant, of course, planting close to the door rather than tucked in onto the bookshelf to protect himself from the freezer doorway. The smoke babe will miss the plant, will go down. 2 versus 2. The attackers are scrambling around. Evan is down but not out, but Gully is now going to be in a position to be able to pick him up. The Nomad looking the wrong way. Goes down. Now it's effectively a 1 versus 1, and Gully with an absolute banger takes down Retro and wins the round for Sakudo. Wow. 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 That's all I can say. It's just wow. What a round. Holy crap.
Almost certain we're going to be seeing an OT here. That was just out.
That was explosive if I've ever seen. Woo!
Wow, really good round there from Hoax and Sakudo. Nonetheless, I mean that was down to the wire. Fake Retro just missed out on his placements there, which I think was the end of his game. As the Jaeger managed to swing around and pick up his kills on the side of Sakudo. Wow, just incredible! What an attack! What a defense! And I think that's something we're going to be seeing a lot of this game. It's going to be a tight one, and I think this is good to set us up to show us just how the rest of this season is going to be played out, especially in the leagues such as the Champions League and Premier.
That's what I was wondering as well, or that's what I was thinking about as well. Is that if the qualifiers are this exciting between these sort of lower tier teams, at least for now, of course, any of these teams, Out of the 20 teams currently competing in the close qualifiers, 16 go through into the respectively Premier and Alpha League, and then any of the teams within Premier League have the opportunity to relegate all the way into the Champions League at the end of the season, or at the beginning of the next season. So if this is how exciting it is here in these lower tiers, oh boy, I can only imagine what it's going to be like when we get down to the wire in the Champions League and we get to see teams like Lumina Gaming and then Arctic Wolves playing against each other day in, day out. I cannot wait. It's going to be such a banging season. And speaking of banging, Mr. Easter with an absolute banger of a kill. I think that might have been even a run out onto the Iana of Braz. Where happened this? It was a run out. He
ran out off in the small tower, managed to get a headshot, which is incredibly good range for a headshot.
Wow,
Even with the 1.5. Actually, there's no 1.5. I thought it was
no, there's no 1.5 for the LPX.
It was.
At least not for Valkyrie.
Yeah, well, even still with the hollow, it's even more impressive.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy to get that kill, and he is right back on the hunt to get some more. Mr. Easter is definitely hungry for some Easter eggs here. Could he be picking up a couple more kills? I wonder. Shut up! It wasn't that bad. It was not 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 that bad. No, it was not that bad. And it would hit more if it was around Easter. Okay, it would hit way better if it was around Easter. But because Easter was like a month ago, it doesn't.
Yeah, I think it hit better with the Easter eggs. But there's a lot of good names in here that you have to work with. So I'm going to be disappointed if I hear any more Easter egg jokes.
I mean, what am I supposed to do when it's Easter? And there we go. Chicken foot. What even happened? My stream froze again. So many kills happening. It's effectively 2 versus 3 now. Cyberstar shooting the feet, can't quite get the kill onto Sneaky, taking a lot of damage as well. Bringing the Blackbeard. You don't see that happen very often, although he has been picking up some steam recently. Mr. Easter taking down Retro. It's all about the Cyberstar. We've seen Ace before. That shield saves his life, but how much longer will he be able to survive for? Not much longer. It's Mr. Easter. It's not like a 3K, 4K, something like that. A lot of kills down to the wire for Mr. Easter to win that round as well.
Is it... Hello, Happy?
Oh. That was...
Oh,
we don't usually hear from Happy all too often.
That was an exciting technical difficulties here. We're just going to be able to have to pause it out. Just going to go back there quickly. Hunting Easter eggs. Where did I get Mr. Easter? I can get where the Easter eggs came from. Why would you hunt an Easter egg?
What do you mean? Like,
well, because if you shoot an Easter egg, you'd ruin all the chocolate, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but okay, maybe you won't shoot it. Maybe you just because like when you're collecting Easter eggs, when you're going around your grandma's garden and you're looking for them, putting them in your basket. You don't do that on Easter.
I do, but going into the round, I mean, it was a very well played round there. Skudu just seem to be knowing what they're doing on those quick, short, brisk defenses. I mean, they're able to give out those calls. They must have a very, very strong IGL or a very loud Discord call. Sneaky hidden away there, trying to hide underneath the bed, but his feet just got picked up by Cyberstar on that Blackbeard, picking up his little toes, forcing him to rotate out, which, however, in an adverse effect, it allowed Sneaky to get a line of sight onto other players and pick up those kills. Very exciting to watch. Really good game. Hoping to see that Hoax are going to be able to pick up some kills, or was their result in our open qualifier a hoax? See, that's how you do it.
That was not better. That was not better.
It was better than hunting Easter eggs.
It was not better. It was slightly better, but it was still not good.
So it was better.
It was marginally. It's also the Easter eggs thing. It sets such a low bar that is like
anything.
Just saying
better.
Anything at that point. Like you're not really, you haven't really done anything. You're not better.
You know what?
Me.
I've just realised it was actually so bad. Mr. Easter left.
It's God damn it! Yeah, you're right. He tried to escape it.
He was like,
He's
"God,
like, if I change my name to something when I join back, will that
Protect your bombs from
will Retro then stop making such bad jokes?"
maybe."
But at the end of the day, however bad you think that was, just know that a fake Retro would have had it worse. So, really, if anything, I'm protecting you from
Yeah.
worse things being
What
said.
was fake retros being? Chickens
Um,
out of the hatch.
Maybe.
Right, moving on to this next round. Hopefully, we can see Hoax Esports try and bring it back here. I mean, they did top Skudu in their last league. In their last, I think they played each other in the final games as well. So it's a sort of interesting rivalry and a derby that's coming up in between these teams, which I could think we might be able to see more of. They played well last time. I believe it was Hoax that won it. Which actually altered the outcome of the table, and it forced Team Faded out of the qualifying area.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. I have to say, if I'm Faded right now, I am absolutely livid about the way that it turned out. As of course, S2 dropped out. They were the last qualifying team. They were team number 12. Faded, I believe, were either 13 or 14, so they were just on the cusp of making it. And then S2 dropped out, and they decided to nominate T3B's Gladiators.
I can give you some info on that one if you are curious. Yeah, so S2 did drop out. They were in 11th place, which would their dropout would actually have put Faded within qualifying territory. Yeah. They then gave their spot to Team 17, who came 17th with a 1-4 outcome, which was Team Gladiators. My curse strikes again, and in fact, it was twice as bad this time. 2 players going down to the same gun.
Yeah, that was a gully just going crazy, picking up 2 Pixel, Retro, and Corix. Sort of a very common combination of players that we see on this team whenever there's sort of a man disadvantage. Is either you see Pixel, Retro, and Corix, or you see Cyberstar and Braz. They're sort of, it just kind of goes to show how much they stick together. But there we go, Pixel and Corix both picking up a piece. Corix will be picking up another. He does a little bit of damage onto Gully, and there goes Retro to follow up and get the kill onto Gully. Now Sneaky and Evan both having to try and rotate away and make sure that they don't also die on that top floor. Evan inside the kitchen, dropping down through the hatch. Sneaky down inside of security, trying to do a little bit of vertical damage onto the window, but it's Pixel who manages to run away from it. Runs away from the C4 as well. The only remaining C4 on the side of Sakudu does miss. And now Hoax are in sort of the driver's seat a little bit against Sneaky and Evan, who are still trying to hunt them through these vertical angles, trying to find something, as of course getting any kill here would be grand. Sneaky holding onto that hatch, making sure that they don't get any advantage from there. 25 seconds left to go. They're breaking those castle barricades, which of course are quite a bit of a time waster, as well as a little bit of a utility waster as well. There we go, Plant going down through the vertical angles. Evan finds one, can't get the finisher. Plant is down. Sneaky inside of meeting picks up the head of one. It's Evan to pick up Pixel, and it's all down to Corix in a 1 versus 2 post-plant situation to try and clutch this round out for Sakudo. He will hear the drop from Evan, or from Sneaky if it ever comes. There goes the drop from Evan. There goes the flash as well, forcing Evan away from the position that he was playing. He peeks him with the shotgun, can't get the kill. It's Corix with the 1, and Sneaky with the O45 is going to try and have to win this round, and it's Corix with the kill to pick up the round for Hoax, and Hoax put themselves on the board.
There we are. That is the first round from Hoax. Close. I mean, they're pulling it very close there. Sakudu literally just missing out as Evan dropped there, manages to get 2 kills with his SMG-11. Balancing out the board, Corix managing to clutch that up in the 1 versus 1 situation. Absolute outstanding game. Really good round. Not much I can critique on it there. Possibly on the size of Hoax, they could have played it a little bit differently, spacing out a little bit, so it wasn't as easy for that SMG-11 to swing both heads, because it's got a shorter magazine. But, I mean, it's just the luck of the draw. That's not really something they could have helped. Good round, good teams, and this is going to be one long night.
It definitely will be a one long night, and just to close out what we were saying before all of the action began in the last round is that obviously the choice was given to the team that had dropped out who they wanted to nominate in their place, and I mean, Team Faded, we casted their last game in the open qualifiers. We casted it together. It was the final game of the open qualifiers, and it definitely came down to the wire, and there was a moment where you thought, oh, Faded could make it, and then they just missed it, and then there was an opportunity presented that they could make it again, but unfortunately they were not picked by S2 to get in and to replace them. So that's definitely going to sting a little bit for the players of Faded who probably thought that they could have made it a little bit farther. And there we go. The curse is now with me as Braz picks up Chicken, and it's a very, very early pick. That is the Warden off the board, and that is a huge, huge kill as they still have two smoke grenades in pocket of Chorix, and of course the flashbangs. It's Retro as well. Had Ying not been banned, that would have been trouble all around. But Sakuda will be having a little bit of a breather with the Ying off the board, but it's still going to be quite a challenge to try and still hold on to the site. Now that Hoax have the man advantage. Of course, we've seen this site played before, and it was a minute left in the round when we still had a 5 versus 5. Stalling a little bit on these hatches is Retro just waiting for Pixel to come to him so that he can get the Kid Claw off of that hatch. And of course, Pixel just far away from him, wasting so much time. And I do believe that that's Sneaky down below as well, trying to trick it. This time it might actually work. It will not, as they throw down the second EMP charge. But of course that leaves only one EMP. Actually, that leaves one EMP charge for the other hatch. But Sneaky is not close enough to pick that up and try to what's the word? Trick that. And here we go. Find ourselves again with 75 seconds to go, and not really much action yet. So it's going to be another collapse onto the site for Pokes. Opening up some of these angles with the Hibana pellets. It's going to probably be a collapse down the hatch and then down the stairs as well. And of course, without the Warden, it's going to be harder to contest some of these angles if they decide to toss in those flashbangs. But one smoke bait will get deployed onto, I believe, the hatch drop.
Yes, I think it was.
Oh, there goes
Close
there goes flashes.
Wow.
It misses, and there goes Mr. Easter picking up a kill, nullifying the man advantage that Hoax have gathered so far. The hatch drop goes. This time Mr. Easter is aware, but Cyberstar picks him up anyway. Sneaky and Evan both picking up a piece. 2 versus 3. That shotgun will not be getting the kill for Sneaky. It's Retro to pick him up instead. And now it's again Sneaky. It's again Retro and Chorix. Gully picking up Chorix. It's all down to Retro. Takes down one. That's Gully. He's going to have to try and go for the plant. Evan throwing down a smoke babe. It will miss, and the plant will go down, as Evan is not close enough to deny it just yet. But Gully being down but not out is sort of a live drone here for Evan. There goes a flashbang, and there goes the swing with SMG-11 in full white. Evan takes him down, wins the round, and
Checks on his dying teammate.
Bomb diffuser disabled by defenders.
Yep. Gully and oh my lord, I forgot his name. He just clutched and I forgot his name.
Evan.
The smoke. Evan. Jesus. Oh my god, my brain was thinking Sneaky, and I was like, no, that's the Cade. Yeah, Gully and Evan just decided to take turns. Who's going to clutch 1vx clutch the basement site, and it worked out twice for them, putting Sakuda at a significant advantage now as they go to their secondary site pick of Kids Dorms and Dorms Main Hall, which they've already won before. So can Hoax pull it out this time, or will it be another shutdown from Sakuda?
I'm currently very impressed with the performance from Sakuda. I mean, these have been some really good games and some really important clutches coming out from them. Lots of frags and different kills coming in here, and all sorts of different plays. They're handling these hot drops and site takes really, really well, often with plenty of refrags for the kills that they are losing. And it can leave them many times on top, or if not in the same position as they were when the drop happened. I mean, they got knocked down to a it was a 4 versus 5, I believe it was. And was brought down to a 2 versus 2, and then they brought it right back down to a 1 versus 2. Did get close, but I think not finishing off Gully there was quite important. Obviously, he had to get the plant down, so their use of time was very effective, as Gully was able to then say he is planting, wait it out. You know, you've got time, and Gully was alive at the time when he was trying to fight that 1 versus 1, so he had all the information. Very well played by Sakudo. Absolutely outstanding, and haven't had my curse for a while.
Haven't, but in fairness, that was the prep phase. I would have been surprised if you managed to activate the curse there. I guess it could have been a spawn peek.
Could have been a team kill.
Well, that's not a thing anymore, so that's what I'm saying. I would have been very surprised. I would have been impressed with you if you managed to trigger a team kill in prep phase when that feature is no longer in the game.
No, I am pretty magical.
But Raz... Oh, never mind. I thought the player that's inside of Attic, actually, I do believe that's Sneaky. I thought that he was a little bit closer maybe on that trophy door, but no, he's safe and sound inside of Attic, and that wall is already open. There goes a C4 as well from Evan. Doesn't catch anybody. He's getting a little bit overzealous on that breach. Could have died there, but fortunately does get away with his life. That shotgun in hand again, playing this colloquially known as a bolo position. Raz holding that angle, making sure that he doesn't swing onto that doorway, and the one-mine magnet is not on the board. Retro picking up Evan. That's the shotgun down. There goes Sneaky down as well inside of Attic. Mr. Easter picks up one with the C4. Chicken with the follow-up on the Cyberstar. It's effectively 3 versus 3 as Sneaky is currently irretrievable. Chicken doing a little bit of a dance here with Quirks. Who will win the gunfight? I don't know yet. Mr. Easter holding a very long angle. Braz holding a pixel angle. And we've stalled a little bit. Quirks can't quite get the finisher onto Sneaky, which is a little bit of a problem here. As of course, just like Gully in the previous round, Sneaky is now acting as a live drone, but Pixel does finish him off through the wall. There goes Quirks with the follow-up onto Chicken. Braz doing a lot of damage and finally downing Gully through that pixel angle that we saw him play, and now it's all down to Mr. Easter. His teammate irretrievable. 35 seconds left to go. Can't quite rotate into dorms either, and it's Braz still holding that angle. Gets the final kill, wins the round, and well, Hoax put another round on the board.
Wow, good round there from Hoax. That attack was absolutely epic, with a lack of a better word. There was an attack there when they were pushing in the trophy, and there was the smoke playing below. The Iana used her nades very effectively, managing to bounce them in off that wall, landing right at his feet. Bam goes the Weasel, pop goes the Weasel, or I should say. Right at his feet, bringing him right down to just past a slither of health. He pushes back around into games where the open closet wall has a thermite waiting for him, and they pick him off. Excellent pincer movement, really good use of utility, and an excellent way to take out a close door shotgun player.
Yeah, that was a very, very valuable operator to be playing in that position. Of course, that shotgun, I do believe it's the strongest shotgun in the game, other than some of the slugs that we see on the Cade and the Goyo, and the Alibi as well. So, but I do believe that it's the strongest shotgun in the game. So to have that in position, and especially in that position, I was going to say that like right.
Yeah, definitely one of the most powerful shotguns in the game. A very powerful position to hold. I mean, that would have absolutely sent them into the next planet if that had hit them in the stomach, or chest, or anywhere, in fact. I think we're possibly looking at some more technical difficulties here, so we might have to have me again covering it. So looking into this next round, I think we're going to be able to expect possibly a Sakudo coming back. I mean, I think they're learning. I think they're playing very well. I mean, Ghoulie in particular and Mr. Easter, some very, very prominent fraggers. And we've seen a lot of good mechanical skill from them. Korux, on the other hand, as well as Cyberstar and Retro and the fake Retro, have also used an efficient amount of mechanical skill to develop and show us that they are players who can be reckoned with. It's going to be a good round. I think it's going to be very close, and I think it could end up with a very, very tied position. It's going to be interesting to see, and I'm certainly very excited to watch how it plays out. Coming in here, we can see they've already opened up Attic, and they are looking possibly to push in through Attic using those can openers from the Amaru. It looks like they could be running in, and Mr. Easter gets a pick onto Cyberstar, using his Nitro Cell as Mr. Easter find another onto BRXZ. Wow, what a play. Absolutely picking up two of them there, and there's no one there to refrag them. The refrags are both dead. Mr. Easter losing but a slither of health in that conflict. Truly an outstanding play. Very impressive piece of mechanical skill. As I was saying, Mr. Easter is certainly one we want to be watching out for. Someone close on this side, just missing there, but you can still get on Sneaky. Sneaky hidden away, tucked in behind the wall. Korrox showing his mechanical skill just as he misses a couple of rounds, but he brings it back in and puts Sneaky to rest. Pixel then using, as his name suggests, to eliminate Evan, as Ghoulie refrags onto Pixel and chickens onto Korrox, leaving the fake Retro in a 1 versus 3 situation, and touchable but difficult nonetheless, and it's going to be exciting to see just how he does it. They're all very close together, watching where Retro's coming from. I mean, they know they've got the diffuser. I'm sure they're watching that as well. It's going to be hard for him to come back from this. I mean, pushing into small tower, 35 seconds left. It'd be a surprise if he even makes it. He's got to push up these white stairs. 2 of them watching it, 3 of them watching it. They know where he is. They know where he's coming from, and they are ready to counter him. Mr. Easter, very low HP, first line of defense, then comes Gully, and finally is Chickens, who is going to be taking those long range engagement, I think. Yeah, that's exactly how they've set it up. Not sure if they've done it on purpose, but they've done it well, and it certainly is working. Can't see quite either of the players, but he's got to push in here. That flashbang certainly coming out, telling us where he comes from. And there's Ghoulie, tucked around the corner. Didn't check it as he was watching where those gunfires are coming from, using those tracers. And that is an excellent round from Skudu, and that is exactly what I expected, and something that I'm happy to see from them. They are on the attack now. I mean, that shows just how defender side that was. That's one of the first matches we've seen so far today that's actually left in a 4-2 split. I don't really think we've seen any others like that, but I haven't really been keeping up with the other games, unfortunately, as I've been rather busy here for the last 3.5 hours. So keeping that in mind, defender-sided map means that they are likely to pick up 4 rounds here on the side of Hoax, which is enough to be the winning round. So it needs to go 1 round either side in the winning aspect for these teams to bottle it out in regulation timing. So if Sakudo are able to pick up 3 more rounds, there we are, they finish out, whereas Hoax will need